All right, so we've been talking for a couple months about what is the gospel, right? And so let's do a little recap before we jump into 13 reasons. So what did we talk? We talked about God first, and what did we say? Somebody, who is God? What did we say about God? Somebody. Okay.
He's righteous.
He's righteous and loving, but before that, he was what? He was our good creator, right? He made us. He made us on purpose. He knows exactly how things work. He knows exactly how it should be. But he's also righteous and loving. So what does it mean for him to be righteous?
Holy.
Wait, what?
Holy.
No? He's fair. Okay, that's close. That's right down that same path. He can't let sin go unpunished, right? He's a good judge. He has to punish sin, but he's also loving. He wants to forgive. So somehow it's like kind of like your parents, right? They love you, so they discipline you, but they also want to forgive you. Okay, then we talked about us. Who is man? What do we say about us? We were created good, right? First, God made us on purpose, just the way we are. So your personality, the way you're made, a lot of that is good, right? God gave you certain things that are good. But he also gave us choice, right? And what did we choose?
Sin.
We chose sin, right? We chose, and really when we say sin, because that's like, a big church word, what we mean is that, no, we didn't want to do God's thing. We wanted to do our own thing. We chose our own way. Or another way to say that is we chose rebellion, not life. We chose our own way, which led to rebellion. All of us are sinners. And then we compared sin to what? Like what disease? Cancer, right? And we said, just like cancer starts in one little mutation of the DNA, right? So it starts really small, but it grows and it grows and it grows, and its aim is to destroy you, to grow so big to take over your body. Right? And sin is no different. It starts small, but eventually its desire is to kill us. Alright, so then we went from God to man, then we go back to God. We said, who's Jesus? So what do we say about Jesus? Parker, you always answer this one.
Fully God, fully man.
He's fully God and fully man. Somehow 1 + 1 equals 1. Alright, it's weird. Don't put that on your STAR test if you're not done. 1 + 1 is not 1 in real life, but with God, somehow he's fully God and fully man. Jesus anyway. They also said he was our Messiah. And really the word we used for that was that he was our hero. Right? He was this superhero of sorts that had been promised from the very beginning, right? To come and fix our cancerous sin disease. And he was also the suffering Lamb of God. And what did we talk about with that? Do you remember? Yeah, we talked about Passover, right? How they had to kill the lamb, put the blood on the door. The door! I just squeaked. They had to put the blood on the door, right? The angel of death came to each house. And if they saw the blood there, they were saved, right? They didn't see the blood, the firstborn son died, right? So Jesus came as a picture of that. He came to die in our place. And if we receive the blood, then we're saved, right? We're not. We're not. And we talked about what is our response. We talked about it's two sides of one coin. It's repent and believe, right? That's how we respond. What does it mean to repent? To turn away from what? Sin, wrong choices. Man, I'm squeaking all over the place tonight. I promise I'm not 13. Repent. It means we all of a sudden choose God's way, not our own way. And the only way we can repent is if we also believe. We believe that God's way is better. And so that's how we respond to the gospel. So what I wanted to do was, okay, you know that, right? You know Jesus came to die for you, God loves you, right? That's stuff we say all the time, right? But I wanted to think about, okay, how does that apply to like very real, everyday topics? And so last week we talked about what? Dating. That was fun, right? Everybody loves to talk about dating. Nobody loves to talk about 13 reasons why. But they're very real topics, right? They're very real. Dude, like, no, I'm leaving. It's not going to be bad, I promise. Okay, so I spent the last 2 days on Netflix, like watching this series. All 13 episodes in the last 2 days. I know some of you are like, I did it in 1 day. It took you 2? No, I did it in 2 days. So how many have seen it? How many have seen the whole thing? Okay, so I would say close to half. Okay, how many have seen part of it? Anybody seen at least part of it? Okay, so how many have heard of it at school? Who has no idea what 13 Reasons Why? That's okay. Okay, good, Robbie. Those are my boys. We're going to hang out later because y'all are probably still happy. The rest of us are depressed. So what I wanted to do, I know that it's a topic that's being talked about. I know that it's something you're watching. And so what I wanted to do was think about it from a Christian perspective, right? So if somebody that's watched it, do you remember any reference to God in the whole thing? Just anybody, off the top of your head. There's one moment that I can remember where a family sits down to say grace, but they don't actually pray. They just skip to another scene. That's the only memory I have of some sort of Christian influence in it, right? So nobody in that show is dealing with their junk from a Christian perspective. So what I want to do is kind of talk about some of the issues that come up, and then how do we think about it? Let me say this: some of you are like, oh, I got to go home and watch it tonight, right? So let me just say this. Here's my opinion on whether you should do that or not. I'm gonna say no. I would say be careful. Go get your parents' permission first. If you haven't watched it yet, you want to, go talk to your parents about it. Make sure they're okay with it, because there's a lot of junk in there. Okay, right? Let's say it nicely. I bet there's 1,000 F words. I'm just throwing it. I bet there's at least 1,000. There's 2 rape scenes. I'm not talking like you see shadows on the wall. Like you just see it. It's right there. You see her commit suicide. So this is dark. Okay, so I'm just throwing it out there. I would be careful. Okay, I would go get your parents' permission. I would talk about it with them. See, here's why. Taylor, can we throw up the next slide? Here's why. Because, think about this. What you fill your mind with, through music, through movies, through Netflix, through Instagram, what your mind gets filled with, it may seem like no big deal, but eventually what happens is that stuff seeps down into our hearts, and it changes us. Right? I can't go back and unsee Hannah Baker killing herself. Like I can't. And I would love to. But what we fill our minds with affects us very deeply. It affects how we live, what we value. So just be careful and stuff like this, right? I know a lot of you have already watched it, but be careful. Like, especially if you're prone to depression or you're prone to having a poor self-image. Like, this is going to take you into a darker place, okay? And some of you are like, oh, that's not me, I'm cool. No, but like, for real, these are real issues. So, because I know some people haven't seen it, let me just give you a little bit of a taste of what the characters are, what the story is, because we're not going to go into deep, dark detail, but just follow along with me. So, because there's some people like Robbie and Eli that literally never heard of this and never seen it. So, here's how it goes. There's this girl, Hannah Baker. Show us Hannah Baker. This is Hannah. Hannah is when we first meet Hannah, she's the new kid in town. She's about to be a sophomore, so she's about the age of you freshmen, okay? She's the new kid in town. She's never been to this high school, and she makes some friends that summer. But Hannah has this really, makes some bad choices. The reason the show is called 13 Reasons Why is because from the very beginning we know that Hannah kills herself. So this is right up front. We know she kills herself. And she leaves these 13 tapes. Like, y'all know what a cassette tape is? If you've watched it, now you do. But maybe you didn't before that. But a cassette tape is how we used to listen to music. I never did. I was a CD kind of guy. But cassette tapes. She records 13 tapes. And each tape represents a person. And it's the 13 reasons why she kills herself. And so she's calling out 13 people and saying, this is what you did to me, this is what you didn't do to me. and this is why I'm no longer here. Right? So she leaves these tapes. Those people did all varying degrees of stuff to her, like so some really bad and some maybe not so bad, but all of that compiled to a place where this girl felt like she couldn't live anymore. She would rather not be here. She would rather have her parents lose a child than to deal with the junk that she dealt with every day, right? Hannah Baker, that's her right there. She seems cool, honestly. She didn't seem weird to me. Here's one of the characters that she talks about, Justin Foley. This is Justin. Justin is, he's an athlete. He's very popular. He's definitely in the in crowd. Justin has a very rough home life, okay? His dad, I don't remember any mention of his dad, but his mom, I think, is basically a drug addict for the most part, and has a constant stream of boyfriends living there that probably have been abusive to him in his life, okay? So he's popular, but he's struggled with some stuff. And there is a ton of drinking, a ton of marijuana smoking, there's a ton of that in his life. Now, Justin meets Hannah at a party, and Hannah likes him because he's cute and whatever. I don't know why girls like bad guys like that, but so they get each other's phone number, and then one night they sneak out and meet up in a park. And they're playing on the slides, and Justin is taking pictures of her sliding down the slide. Well, he gets a very inappropriate picture where you can see her underwear, right? So he goes the next day to school, and he tells everybody, he shows them the picture, and tells them that he went really far with this girl. Really, they just kissed, right? But he begins to spread lies. One of his friends takes the phone. Some of you have experienced this, and this is very real. So a friend takes the phone and sends it out. And once it's sent out, it's like a wildfire, right? You're not stopping it. You're not taking back that action. So there's these lies, there's this picture that everyone in the whole school is seeing about Hannah Baker. And it's not true. But she begins to develop this reputation of sleeping around. She never had. That was her first kiss, that was it. But that reputation never leaves her for the whole show. It was all based on a lie. It started with Justin trying to look cool in front of his friends. And that was kind of the beginning of the end. It takes her down this path, right? But that's Justin Foley. Let's meet Jessica Davis. Jessica Davis is, Jessica was also new to town. She had just come to this new place, and so that's why her and Hannah bonded, right? They didn't have anybody. They thought, oh, we gotta have each other. And they meet this other guy named Alex, right? So they're all new. Anybody ever been new to a place and you find somebody else new and you're just like, we're together. We got this. We got to bond together. Well, that's what happens with Jessica and Hannah and then Alex. So they're close for a while, right? Eventually, Jessica and Alex pair up. They start dating, and they don't tell Hannah, and it really hurts Hannah. Eventually, Alex and Jessica kind of fizzle out, and Alex wants to get back at Jessica. So, and I feel like a gossip columnist, just like recounting this story to you. But I just want some of you to know what the story is, so that you can understand what's going on. Because some of this you can relate to, right? Some of these exact same things happen in your schools. Some of you are like, I've never heard that before. That's okay. That's good. Stay innocent. Some of you have been right in the middle of these. Okay, but Alex is a guy. And he creates this list with some other guys of the best and worst body parts of girls. So they list out, they put names, and they pass it around and show it to everybody. And some of them are flattered, and some of them are devastated because they end up on the worst side. I mean, has that ever happened in our school? Yeah, it did when I was in high school. So this list that Alex creates really damages Jessica, and it really damages Hannah too. Next, we got Tyler Down. Tyler's kind of a weird kid. Like he's kind of just in the shadows the whole time for like the first half. He's somewhat normal, but he is also the yearbook photographer. Okay, so he's always kind of around. He's always taking pictures at school events and whatnot. But his little shadowy persona really was real because he liked Hannah. Kills herself, main character. And he started stalking her, which, again, I don't know if that happens. I don't even know if that's real. But he's outside of her window taking pictures of her at night, right? Okay. And Hannah figures out somebody's following her. They set a trap. And they find out. And they get a picture, and they send it out to everybody and ruin him too. And his secret comes out too, but he also kind of ruins Hannah because she can't even go to her room, right? So she's got this target because everybody thinks she's sleeping around. She has this bad reputation even though it's not true. People are hating on her and she's got this target, right? And then this guy's creeping on her in her house, taking pictures. She doesn't feel like she has anywhere to go that's safe. The next character is Courtney Crimson. Courtney Crimson. Courtney was, I think, popular. She was like cheerleader right now. She was head of something, maybe student council, vice president, Kennedy says. She comes from kind of this great family. She has this good name. Her parents are actually gay. They're just two gay dads, but she kind of had everything going for her. She's smart, she's well-liked, she's popular. But she has this secret that she's actually a lesbian and she doesn't want anybody to know. And she's fearful of that getting out because she had seen that play out with her two dads. And so eventually it comes out. Tyler takes a picture of her and Hannah and it gets out. Again, I feel like a gossip columnist. I don't like recounting all this, but I want you to know some of these characters and some of the things that happen. But eventually that gets out, and what ultimately happens is Courtney throws Hannah under the bus. And it says all these lies about her that aren't true, and it further damages Hannah's reputation, and it causes her deep hurt. She thought she had a friend in Courtney, and she completely abandons her and cuts underneath. Okay, let's take Marcus Cole. We gotta keep going. We're gonna go fast. Marcus Cole. Marcus is the student body president. He is the top of his class. I mean, he's Mr. Got It Together. Right? Everybody likes him. He's doing well at everything. He's got these big goals for his life. But what you realize as you watch this show is that he'll do anything to make sure people think good of him. He'll lie, he'll cheat, he'll do whatever to make sure that others think that he's got it all together. Somehow he gets matched up with Hannah for this Valentine's thing. This is like all really fresh, so I'm remembering details like crazy. They get matched up, and so he asks her on a date. He shows up fashionably late. She sits there and waits on him anyway because she really kind of liked him and was flattered that he wanted to be there. Well, he tries to make a move on her physically in public, which is psycho to me, because he's hurt her reputation of being easy. So he tries to make this move, and she screams, and he yells cuss words, and he basically assaults her. He basically assaults her. This Mr. Got It Together. And that just further solidifies in Hannah's mind that she is just this object. No one loves her. No one cares for her. She's all alone. She's worthless. We got Zach Dempsey next. Zach is Mr. Basketball. He's very popular, but honestly, he's not the annoying popular. I think he really was kind of a nice guy, yeah? I mean, he kind of had some redeeming qualities about him. He kind of got caught up in this popular basketball crowd, and so he felt like he had to take on this certain personality and had to do certain things. So he was there the night that Marcus assaulted her, right? And he kind of came and sat and talked to her. So they kind of developed this friendship, and then one day Hannah cries out in class through this note, and he knows that it's hers crying out for help, but he doesn't do anything about it because he doesn't want to be seen with her. He doesn't want to lose his reputation, and she knows that. So she is crushed again. I'm not going to break the whole story to you. You have Clay, there's some others as well, but we're not going to talk about each one. So Hannah makes these 13 tapes, and she details, this is what you did to me, this is how you rejected me, this is how you hurt me, this is how you left me alone. Right? And these people all hear these tapes, but they don't just hear theirs, they hear all 13. So they begin to band together to try to cover up what happened. And they begin to point fingers and say, well, really his was worse than mine, and he did this, but I didn't rape her. And they're out for blood. They're trying to cover themselves and trying to make themselves look good. And it is, eventually they all crack. Eventually they all break in the end. The truth prevails. But most of the series is about them trying to hide their junk, them not dealing with the truth, them thinking that they're better, them comparing themselves. There's a lot of dark stuff going on here. So as I watched this, I kind of took some notes on the characters, but then just as I would watch, I just try to evaluate what do we do with this? Like how do we deal with this? And so I happened to write 13 conclusions. I didn't mean to, or 13 observations, right? It wasn't like this big plan from the beginning, 13 reasons why, 13. I just wrote them out as I really did. I didn't try, I promise. That was not a goal. I was just taking notes, and that's what came out of it. So I just want to talk about each one of these. So it'll be somewhat fast. One of the main reasons for poor self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Like how you feel about yourself. So people that have poor self-esteem feel depressed. They feel like no one likes them. They feel like they're terrible. And one of the main reasons for that comes from comparison. Right? If we didn't have anybody to compare ourselves to, we wouldn't feel bad about ourselves. We'd think we're freaking awesome, right? I think we're the smartest person alive. But if I'm comparing myself to Lila, I'm like, man, I'm dumb. Like I do not know anything. Right? If I'm comparing my looks to Brad Pitt, I'm like, dude, I'm the ugliest dude alive, right? If I'm comparison, right? And these characters are they not? They're constantly comparing themselves. Well, she's pretty, but I'm not. He's this, I'm not. Right? Hannah felt like, they're good and I'm this, whatever. So I want us to think about this on all of these. How do we as Christians think about it differently? How does the gospel, the fact that God loves us even though we're broken, and He showed us that by sending His Son to die in our place, how does that change how we live versus how they acted out? So the gospel frees us from having to compare ourselves to feel better. Okay? You are no longer bound to compare yourself. Why? Because everybody's jacked up. We're all sinners. And yeah, I may be prettier than you, or I may be smarter than you, or you may be this more than me. It doesn't matter in God's eyes, right? The gospel frees us from having to compare ourselves. Here's the other thing. None of these kids would ever own up to, I did this. It's my fault. Some of them kind of hint at that. Alex does a little bit. Clay obviously does, but he didn't do anything really. They never own up to it until they're like forced to by the law. See, but the gospel is different. If we're Christians, actually one of the weird things about us is that we readily admit I'm broken. Right? We readily admit, God, I'm a failure and I need help. Like where else is that cool in life? To go, man, I'm a terrible basketball player and I need private coaching. Right? Like, where is it cool in life to stand up in front of the class and go, look, I did not hear anything she just said, and even if she said it again, I would not understand it. I need a private tutor. Like, where else in life is that cool? But Christians, what do? We admit, I'm broken. I can't fix myself. I choose my own way. And even when I want to do the good that I know I should, I can't. I choose the other way. So the gospel frees us from comparison. Second, observation and conclusion. Drama comes from a greater concern with judging others than dealing with our own junk. So with drama and strife and low self-esteem, it comes from, I'm watching them and I'm concerned about, well, she got away with that, and he did this, and they did that. It's blaming others and concerned about them. It's not really dealing with their own stuff. It's not really owning up to the fact that, man, I'm broken. Man, I did this. And every one of these kids has some sort of really kind of fatal flaw, some sort of sin issue, right? If you've watched it. They all have something that's broken in them, but none of them were dealing with it. They all wanted to point the finger at someone else and say, yeah, but Bryce did this. Yeah, but Alex did that. Yeah, don't look at me. Look how bad they are. Right? But it's different for us, right? It's different for us, right? We're okay with our brokenness. He said, I don't have the scripture up here, but it just comes to mind. Only when we're weak are we strong. I think it's 1 Corinthians. He says, we only find strength when we readily admit that we're broken, that we're weak, that we need a Savior, right? That's the difference, right? All right, third conclusion. Words matter. The words you speak, the words you text, the words you DM, the words you snap, the words you think, you write a note, the words you tweet, they all matter. How many of you have been deeply hurt by something somebody has said about you? Whether you heard it face to face or on a device, or you heard it through a friend. And everyone not raising their hand has done that. Words matter. What we say, like you break my arm all day, but please don't talk about my life. Right? I'd rather feel that pain than having someone. So how we talk about and how we talk to each other, it either builds people up or it destroys people. Proverbs 18:21 says this. Proverbs 18:21. The tongue can bring death or life. And those who love to talk will reap the consequences. The tongue can bring death or life. How we speak to each other, how we talk about each other, it either tears people down and leads to death, as in Hannah Baker's case, or it leads to life. And those who love to talk will reap the consequences. All right, next one. Words matter, but actions matter too. All right? There were some two-faced people in this. In front of one crowd, they're something, and in front of another crowd, they're doing something else. How we treat people in front of them and behind their backs is really no different than our tongues. It can build them up. It can bring them out of a dark place, or it can destroy them. How we treat people matters. See, here's the reality. People are going to let you down. Like, you're going to have friends that you're friends with this year that next year are going to leave you. They're going to abandon you. And if your worth and your sense of self-esteem, if everything is wrapped up in a certain friendship, a certain boyfriend, a certain girlfriend, like eventually friendships end. And if everything you have is in that person, they're going to let you down. Why? Because we're all sinners. They're going to let you down. So when we understand the gospel, we know my hope and my value and my purpose in life is not based in this person. It can't ever be. And so if you've got a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a best friend that, man, if you were to lose them, you'd be absolutely crushed beyond belief. And I understand being sad, but like, you would literally not want to live. And you got to check that, right? If we're going to be gospel people, our worth and our value is not based on some friend we have or don't have. Next observation. I don't know that you can help this, but there is an obsession in youth, and I just mean people that haven't grown up, people that haven't matured to become adults. There's this obsession with not realizing that this season of life and your reputation is temporary, not permanent. And so that's a lot of words. Let me say it simpler. Everything that happens to you think is the end of the world. Right? Somebody breaks up with you. You're like, I'm never going to get out of 10th grade. It's just never going to end. Like, I can't get past this reputation. And you, in your youth, in your immaturity, you can't see beyond this and say, you know what, one day I'm going to leave. One day I'm not going to be friends with those people. And so everything that happens feels like the end of the world because this is all I ever have. But you do grow up. Like I feel like I was just in high school and it was 11 years ago. So I'm old. I'm almost 30. Like, what is that? Everything feels permanent, but it's not. See, the gospel, all these kids, they think this is everything. I gotta have the best reputation. I gotta have all this stuff. I gotta have it right now. But what they don't, they had no perspective that it was just a season, that it would pass. And when we know the gospel, when we know God, we know that what we see is not everything. There's a bigger story, and we know that God's working all things together for good. All right, number 6. We're going to pick up the pace. Number 6. The allure. What does that mean? Allure. What? The illusion. Okay. What? Yeah, the desire. It's like a one of those bugs being drawn to a bug flower. What is those called? The little lights? A zapper. Right. That's a lure. It's just go to the light, right? Okay, right? Like that bug can't handle it. It's got to go get the light, even though it's going to kill it, right? I got to go get the light. We don't know what it's going for, but it's going for the light. Okay, so think of that when I say allure. The allure of popularity and being well liked is overwhelming, right? It wasn't a series. These kids, man, they wanted everyone to like them. They wanted everyone, and they were willing to do whatever it took. It didn't matter if they broke the law, if they broke their parents' wishes, if they changed who they were. They would do anything to be popular. They would do anything to have everyone like them. Are we not any different? Right? We care what other people think. See, but the gospel frees us from that. Those with popularity and power feel untouchable and invincible. Right? Bryce felt like he could do anything. He could sell drugs on campus. He could break every law. He could go buy beer whenever he wanted to. He could do anything. Laws didn't matter to him. He felt untouchable and invincible. There were no repercussions to his actions. But that's not true. Right? The gospel reminds us that we're all held accountable. Like to whatever you do, the words you say, how you treat other people, you're going to be held responsible for that. And it may come down the road, it may not happen right then. That's how it happens to Bryce in the story. Next one. There is a huge desire. There is a huge allure. Janet, can we go to the next one? There is a huge desire to date and to be loved by somebody early in life. Like there is a deep hunger to be connected with somebody. Like that's okay. That's God given. See, but we rush it. We want it right now, and we will do whatever we have to do to get that. Like that's what happens to Hannah. She just deeply wants somebody, so she latches on to Justin and to all these bad. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? That dude is terrible. Why are you with him? Next one. Everyone has secrets. Everyone in this story had secrets. All of them. And that is absolutely true in our world. Like, there are people that you look around and you're like, that guy doesn't struggle with depression, that guy doesn't struggle with this, that. Like, they got it all together, right? Like the student body president, you've really got this thing figured out. And even he had secrets, right? Things he didn't want people to know about him. Everyone has secrets. No one is good. When I watched, Maddie and I got into the show called Scandal, and at first it was just kind of like, fun, this is awesome, it's about corruption and stuff. But it turned into like, I hate every stinking one of those characters now, because they're all so evil. Like there is no one that's good, they all try to pretend, right? But what happens in this story, and what happens in every story is, you can't hide the truth. Eventually, truth wins out. Eventually the truth comes out, it always does. And when we try to hide our junk, that's opposite of what the gospel says. We own up to it. We readily admit, yeah, I screwed up, yeah, I struggle with that, absolutely. Yeah, I'm broken. That's not putting that out there on social media, that's to trusted people, but and we don't hide from the fact that we're broken. All the people in this story just hide from that. Next one, we kind of already talked about it. placing your hope and happiness in another person will let you down. When Hannah finally kind of connects up with Clay, we didn't talk about Clay. He's kind of a good dude. You like Clay, even though he's kind of weird. You like him. You watch this story, you like him. And she feels like, oh, I finally found someone that I can have happiness with. I finally found that. She's like 15, right? Like, I finally found this one that I can have happiness with. And Clay lets her down. And Clay screws up. Man, if you put all of your hope in a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a friend, it's going to let you down. It's going to let you down. That was very negative. Next one. We're almost done. 3 more. I'm going fast, I promise. There is a huge need to have someone older, to have someone wiser in your life, helping you navigate, how do I make this decision, what do I do, and to have perspective. I can't think of one example in this story. None of these kids were talking to their parents. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Who was actually talking to their parents about what was going on? Was anybody? Did anybody have who? What? The boy that was stalking, he was telling his parents? I don't remember. They may have gone, yeah, they're mean to me. But he wasn't telling them what was really going on, right? And you need somebody older in your life that's been through what you've been through and that can help you make decisions, make godly decisions on how to date, how to do this, how to that, and help you have some perspective when things don't go right. None of these kids had that in the story. Next one. There's only one way to get past your failures and your mistakes, because all of us have them. We all do, just like in the story. And what their remedy in the story was hide it. Like, push it down, cover it up, don't let it out into the light. No, we got to keep that in the dark corner over here. We can't let anybody know how I feel. But the only way to get past that as a Christian is to drag it out into the light. Is to quit hiding it, to quit faking like you got it all together, because we know you don't. I know I don't. And the only way we do that is to drag it out into the light, confess it, and we receive forgiveness from God. Right? That's the only way, and none of these kids had that. None of them were really ready to admit the truth. That's the only way we really are gospel people, is if we're really admitting the truth, that we're broken and we have a great need. And then last one, suicide is a tool that Satan uses in your life. And some of you are like, man, I've never had that thought. Some of you are thinking, I've been there. I'm there right now. Suicide is a tool that Satan, our enemy, uses against us. And he'll tell you lies that your life doesn't matter. He'll tell you that no one cares about you, no one wants you. Everyone that you get close to will reject you. Every time you try, you fail. He'll use all these things that happen in your life, and he'll tell you these lies and say, just be better if you weren't here. It's a lie. It's a tactic to destroy you. Like he has no good intentions towards you. That's why he's called our enemy, right? And he wants to destroy you. He's trying to convince you that you're worthless, you're not needed, no one cares about you. Man, if you hear anything tonight, it's not true. Your life matters. Your life matters to your family. You're like, why my family abandoned me? Your life matters to me. Like, I care about each one of you. Some of you I barely know. But your life matters. The thought of you not being here kind of wrecks me a little bit, right? Like, your life matters, and suicide really does nothing to alleviate that. It doesn't fix anything. If you are struggling with that, and you would be shocked if you knew how many of you are. If you're struggling with that and are having suicidal thoughts or having thoughts that my life doesn't matter, no one cares, you need to talk about that with somebody. You need to tell somebody. Right? Because Hannah Baker didn't. She kind of tried at one point to the counselor, but he didn't really, well, he kind of rejected it, but you got to speak out. You got to be willing to admit you need help. You got to be willing to admit that you don't know how to get past this. There are godly men and women in your sphere. Some of them are here, some of them are in your family, they're around you. And talk to a teacher, talk to a counselor, talk to somebody and tell them that don't just hide it. Like, if you hold it all in, eventually it will lead to destruction. That's what it did for Hannah Baker. She didn't feel like anybody cared. There were people in her life that would have totally listened. She never spoke out. She never talked about it. See, if you learn anything tonight, it's this. The gospel frees us from this. We don't have to pretend like we got it all together. We don't. In fact, if we are pretending, we really don't understand the gospel. That God loves us despite the fact that we're broken. God wants a relationship with us even though we reject Him. Like, how crazy is that? Right? And suicide is this tool that Satan uses to try to destroy us. So I got 3 things to challenge you with before we go. Number one, like, consider how you're treating others. Because I really don't think this series is about suicide, right? It's there, but it's just really in the last episode. That's it. What it's really about is how all those people were treating her along the way. And they had some of them had no idea they even hurt her. That they didn't care because they were just concerned about being popular or well-liked or whatever. Consider how you're treating people. Right? And not just your friends, because we all treat our friends well. Right? Everybody treats their friends well. Everybody treats the people they like well. How are you treating the guy you sit by in that class that you don't really like that smells funny? Right? How are you treating that kid that's all alone at lunch? How are you treating people? How are you speaking to people to build them up, not tear them down? Right? That stuff matters. So I challenge you, really consider, how am I going to treat people better? How am I going to bring life into a situation tomorrow at school versus tearing somebody down? Number 2, man, if you've been abused, if you've been hurt by somebody you thought that was a friend, or somebody you thought that you trusted, man, I know from everything I've been through that takes so much courage to speak out on. And I know that a lot of times people don't because they're scared of being labeled or whatever. I've never been there, so I can't even understand it. But so many people just keep it in. They don't speak about it. And there are people that you can trust. Come and tell me, we'll do something about it. We'll make sure that justice happens. We'll make sure that you're no longer abused or hurt. And some of you are like, all right, that's dark. Man, it happens. You'd be shocked. If I could tell you the things I know, you'd be absolutely shocked. But if that's you, if you've ever been abused or hurt, there are adults that you can trust. And you got to speak out so that it doesn't keep happening. And then third challenge is just this. Seek to be careful about what you fill your mind with, right? We talked about at the beginning. What we fill our minds with affects our hearts and eventually changes who we are and how we live. And so, yeah, some of you may go watch this series, but be careful. There will be another series next year, next month, and there will be something else that everybody will latch on to, and it'll be whatever, and we'll probably do a talk on it then, right? But seek to be careful what you fill your mind with. Because it changes who you are. It changes how you live. Like, instead of filling your mind with that, fill it with God's Word. Fill it with truth. Fill it with reminders about who we really are and who God really is. Let me pray for us. God, I thank you for tonight, and I feel the weight of all this, and I pray that just those that are struggling, God, those that are fighting, God, that they would fight well, God, that they would resist the lies of the enemy, God, that their life doesn't matter. No, their life does matter. Their life is meaningful. There are people that love them and care about them and want to see them do well with that. And I pray that you would expose those people, God. May we be those people for our friends, God, that speak life and speak and live life to them, God, that we would build them up and not tear them down with how we treat them, God. God, I pray for those that are even considering ending their life, God, may they not. God, may you put some of us in their path, God, to help bring them out of that, God. May they get help, may they seek help. God, help us to live out the gospel in every aspect of our life. God, help us to not be scared of the fact that we're broken, God, but help us to readily admit that and own up to the fact that we need you, our Savior, God, to come and save us and make us new. God, you desire to do that, and so we pray that that will happen in each one of these students' lives. God, we love you, and we pray all this in your Son's name. Amen.